just thought it was time for a coffee break review. Now, when we started doing all this video malarkey, our good friends at Essential Photo sent us a plethora of lights to try and use, and we've tried many of them, we've used all of them, and I thought it was time for a review. This bad boy is the Rico140B Mk. It's actually the cheapest ring light that we were sent to review. It's mains only. Not that I think that should make a huge deal of difference, because even the ones that we've got that are battery powered, we've tended to use mains only. It's 40 watts of output, excuse me, 360 bulb speeds, LEDs basically. It's bi-coloured. It's just over a foot in diameter. It's actually, if you want to be exact, it's 355 mil across. It's dimmable from 10% to 100% of its power, and as I say, it's bi-colour, so I can change the colour temperature of the light, which will mean I can have a warm light or I can have a cool light. It actually goes from 3000 degrees Kelvin, which is very tungsten-y and orange and warm, all the way through 5600 degrees Kelvin, which is daylight balance, so natural daylight, to a more bluer, more intense light at 6500 degrees Kelvin. So they're all its features. Probably the most important feature is the fact that it carries two cold shoes. One here, if I just turn that to camera, and one at the top. Now, why would it have two? I've seen loads of reviews where these things are really, really badly used. This one is to sit your phone primarily, or your camera on, whatever you're vlogging with sits there, because by having the lens as near as damn it in the centre of the ring light, you get a lovely, lovely even spread of light. We'll test it in a minute, we'll point it at me. I promise you, even I will look semi-handsome. And then this one is where your separate microphone should go. So these things are generally used by young trendy vloggers and makeup artists and people that want to get a message out there. But in our world of pandemia, where we're all under lockdown and Zoom meetings have become de rigueur in our lives, something like this is going to present you to the world in a much more favourable way. You'll have beautiful, even, consistent lighting all the time, and you'll have a microphone, especially if you invest a small amount of money in a shotgun mic. You'll have a microphone that's going to pick the sound up perfectly for you. Now, as I say, 65 quid doesn't seem an awful lot of money for what it is in truth. It doesn't come with a stand. The stand is ours, but the best way to show you what it does is to turn it on and film me through the thing. Right, so we've repositioned our filming camera as if I was doing a Zoom meeting or a vlog, maybe a makeup tutorial, who knows. But so you can see what it looks like, we're now going to turn off our 450D glow pad, which is the thing we've been using for video. So I should go a little bit darker now, and the light will disappear from this side of my face. There we go. So now we're just being filmed by the ring light. Now the ring light is on minimum power at the moment, it's on 10. Now what you've got to understand is we're filming this with our video camera set manually. So if you were doing this with a phone, then it would, or even if your camera was on automatic, it would automatically balance things out. But I want to show you the range that this is capable of. So right at this moment, this is 10% worth of its output. Now if I ask Chris to turn the brightness up slightly, we'll get to a point where we fill in all the shadows and I look amazing, and it's taken years off me, but you can see what the ring light is doing, how even the illumination is. Now you'll also notice the other characteristic of the ring light is its famous donut shaped round catch lights. So not just round, it's like a halo, like a donut, and you'll see that probably very clearly in my glasses. If I take my glasses off, oh, I am Superman. You'll still see that catch light in the eye. Now, the reason I've mentioned that we've set our camera manually and we're filming it manually is if we turn this up to 100%, it will just get brighter and brighter and brighter, and it will look overly bright. But that's, excuse me, that's because we're not using a phone, or we're not using an automatic exposure, which would compensate for that, and I would just look not as bright as I'm looking. We would just throw more light on me and it would compensate and you'd see more around me. But I just wanted you to see the range. So if we go back to a comfortable and nice illumination, which will be determined by Chris the cameraman, we can then look at the other function that we've got. So right at this moment, we're roughly daylight balanced. So we're going to now change the colour temperature. And if we just, you'll see it better at extremes. So if we go all the way to 3000K, so we're warming the light up, you should see that I get more sun-tanny and golden and bronze and lovely. And then we'll go back to where we were in the middle, or towards daylight, and then we'll whack it to the other end, the other extreme, and I become a little cooler, a little more blue, a little more steely, a little more aloof. So you've just witnessed how the bicolour works. It works from warm to cold, and obviously in the middle we've got the daylight balance. Now, one of the interesting things that we found that when we've reviewed this unit is it's not a smooth, gradual change. As you go through all the temperatures, it steps. Now, there's nothing wrong with that, but as this is a review, we need to point those things out. So you can't have every degree between 3000 and 6500 degrees Kelvin. The K stands for Kelvin, that's what we measure the temperature of light in. But it does have those steps. Now, Chris is changing the colour as I'm talking and we're filming, so I guess he's doing it so you can see the steps of light change. Now, the truth is, do you know what? It's not a big thing, this. You're getting an awful lot of functionality for £65. Now, one thing that I can tell you, because this is the very first time I've been sat this side of a ring flash vlogging, when we move the temperature of light towards the 3000 degrees Kelvin end, the warmer end, it's actually much more comfortable for me to give my piece to camera than it is for me personally when we go towards the bluer and cooler end of the colour spectrum. That's just an interesting thing from my point of view. So as we review the other units, I'll actually have a little look at that and see, is that something that personally carries over for me on all of the ring lights that we use. But this is the Mark II version of the Rico140B, £65 at the time of us doing this review, and hopefully you've seen for Zoom meetings, for vlogging, for talking about your life through the lens to the rest of the internet, it's doing what it says on the tin. It's a really good little unit and worth the £65 in my opinion.